The older generation of women does not need to reprogram their mind because they had it together. Okay, they know how to cook, clean, they were elegant. You can take a woman like the likes of a Phylicia Rashad. She was a wife. She was a woman that you can take her to church. You can take her to meet your family. You could take her to the club. We're in this generation now. The only places that these women can be invited to is to the bed. There's nothing else they bring. You know, they're not nurturing. They're not caring. They're not feminine. They're not agreeable. They're not compassionate. Nothing. They're going to have to learn the hard way. And I have to say it again, this is why the older generation of women does not even mentor women like this. Because they think they know it all. They're above reproach. Nobody can tell them nothing. They're hard-headed. They got an attitude for everything. You have the women who are the most disrespectful, the most ignorant, the rudest, the most single, the most miserable, unhappy. Like, I can go down the list. The older generation of women does not need to reprogram their mind because they had it together. Okay, they know how to cook, clean, they were elegant. You can take a woman like the likes of a Phylicia Rashad. She was a wife. She was a woman that you can take her to church. You can take her to meet your family. You could take her to the club. We're in this generation now. The only places that these women can be invited to is to the bed. There's nothing else they bring. You know, they're not nurturing. They're not caring. They're not feminine. They're not agreeable. They're not compassionate. Nothing. They're going to have to learn the hard way. And I have to say it again, this is why the older generation of women does not even mentor women like this. Because they think they know it all. They're above reproach. Nobody can tell them nothing. They're hard-headed. They got an attitude for everything. You have the women who are the most disrespectful, the most ignorant, the rudest, the most single, the most miserable, unhappy. Like, I can go down the list. The older generation of women does not need to reprogram their mind because they had it together. Okay, they know how to cook, clean, they were elegant. You can take a woman like the likes of a Phylicia Rashad. She was a wife. She was a woman that you can take her to church. You can take her to meet your family. You could take her to the club. We're in this generation now. The only places that these women can be invited to is to the bed. There's nothing else they bring. You know, they're not nurturing. They're not caring. They're not feminine. They're not agreeable. They're not compassionate. Nothing. They're going to have to learn the hard way. And I have to say it again, this is why the older generation of women does not even mentor women like this. Because they think they know it all. They're above reproach. Nobody can tell them nothing. They're hard-headed. They got an attitude for everything. You have the women who are the most disrespectful, the most ignorant, the rudest, the most single, the most miserable, unhappy. Like, I can go down the list.
Oh, hello, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who teach and rule well. Salutations to you brothers in the highways and byways. Salutations also goes out to you brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn. I'm the brother Malak from the Diligent Soldier Camp here in Boston, Mass. As always, I pray this lesson be edifying to the elect. All right, the name of this one is, But a woman among all those have I not found. But a woman among all those have I not found, right? And this is actually what inspired the title was the book of Ecclesiastes, right, which I'll get to. I really don't need to speak too much in this little intro, but I will say that, you know, this is like a rare thing where you see a woman like this speaking facts, right? And most of her followers, which are women, will go against it, you know, and they'll be in her comment section. You know, and this is thousands and thousands of women, okay? So it just proves the scriptures even more. But they'll just totally go against with what she's saying, you know, and they'll call her a pick-me and buttload of other names that these women have, you know, because accountability is something like kryptonite to a woman, you know, because if they would just humble themselves and see where they're wrong, you know, we could begin a discussion, a productive one, right? But they don't even notice, Salakia, they don't even realize that they're, you know, they're playing themselves. They're going against themselves, man. Give me 1 second. Because she said a few things over here, you know, how they're, you know, unreproachable, you know, don't want to take no type of instructions. These women don't want to be taught, you know. They want to lead. They will sacrifice everything for their happiness, including their own, you know, because a lot of women have children, man, and they still have the mentality that she's speaking out against, man. Okay, so let's just get a few scriptures and then close out. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 7, and I'll start at 26. It says, "And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands," right? You know, the mentality of entrapping a man, yo. You know, once they get you also, then they over here trying to change you. Here it is, they were attracted to you by how you were, but they don't want you to be like that afterwards, because they don't want you attracting any other woman. This is the mentality of a woman. Most women, you know. As soon as they're with someone, it's already, you know, their way or the highway type shit, you know. So, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher. This is Solomon, King Solomon, if I'm not mistaken, counting one by one to find out the account. And this is the point, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So one woman out of 1,000, you know, out of 1,000 women, I would say, he hasn't found one, right? That is has some type of wisdom, understanding. You know what I mean? Most women here, especially here in Babylon, man, are completely gone, man. Just completely through. There's no coming back from them, man. All right, this is the book of 1 Timothy 5, and I'll start at 5. It says, "Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in God, and continueth in supplication and prayer, and prayers night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth," man. All right? Because, you know, these women just look at everything that Esau has helped them achieve by having all these liberty and getting abroad, man. You know, is nothing but death for them in reality. But they'll sacrifice, you know, they'll sacrifice everything for that happiness, you know, to be taken care of, to be financially looked after, you know what I mean, and have it their way all the time, okay, where even their mom can't even tell them anything, man. But most women, you know, most older women have failed, I would say, these younger women, man, you know what I mean, especially from, I want to say, the 80s up, man, late 70s and up, when, you know, Esau started going into the family and started trying to you know, divide and destroy the family, what they call it, nucleus, I think it is, you know, because back in the 70s and even in early 80s, the father was in the homes most of the time, man. Okay, and that brought forth more positivity than negativity, man, because the end result of fathers not being in the house no more, man, is what you see now. What this young lady is on the screen is speaking on, man. Okay. The fact that these women are not, they believe that they're above reproach. Okay, this is Proverbs 29:1. "He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and without a remedy." Now I said he, but this could apply for women too, because you here it is. You know, I'm speaking from experience, man. The more I would talk, you know, to and try to teach my wife and instruct her, you know, the more she hardened her neck. You know, it gets to a point where you just don't say anything, man. Or you know, you just got to let certain things not so much slide by, but, you know, she already knows how you feel about it. And women are going to do what women want, you know, out of spite most of the time. And when you have when children are involved, you know, you just you act accordingly, man, because at the end of the day, man, this is what we get, you know, for as men, for leaving the Lord, for going playing the harlot, you know what I mean, choosing other gods over our power, man, over Yahweh, you know what I mean. So many of us are in situations where we could definitely get out of, you know, but, you know, for the children's sake, we act accordingly, man. You know, as long as they're not doing no crazy adultery, you know, or committing adultery, period, man. But I'll say this. I want to bring out the book of Isaiah 32 and 9. Okay, because you know, we're gonna have problems in the flesh no matter what with our wives, man. And these women, I'll get back to the topic. We're gonna have problems with our wives, but that's something that for as long as we're here in captivity and we're here in these corrupt bodies, that's something that's you just can't go around it. You know what I mean? Many times. But this is the book of Isaiah 32 and 9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease," because a lot of these women, including a lot of our wives, are at ease. They get their Section A or their housing and food stamps, and these things are a help, no doubt, man. Because the scripture says to use the word but don't abuse it, and cost of living is expensive as hell, man. And a lot of jakes, no matter how hard they try, they just can't get a job that could basically cover everything, all the households. You know what I mean? So you need help, especially now with this economy all messed up. You know what I mean? But the point is, a lot of these women that she's speaking on, are in complete ease, man, right now, man. But the Lord is saying this: "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine." Now, all those things that I said that are subsidies from the government, a lot of our women are have, okay, and it's saying here, they shall lament for the teats, those teats, man, that help, basically, man, that you get. That's one of the main reasons these women are so proud, man, so full of themselves, man. You can't tell them nothing because they already getting it from their daddy Esau, right? But the Lord is telling you that He's gonna take these things away, and then what? What are you gonna do now when you didn't take instructions this whole time, and now you're left, man, as prey, basically, man. And on top of that, there's gonna be a time where you're not only gonna be prey, right? But you're gonna stink, man, because there's not gonna be no soap, no running water. It ain't no getting fresh. The Lord's gonna make you bare, as the scripture's saying, right? And make you bare because, hey, you're not gonna have no makeup, no foundation. Ain't no those little pads that they use to clean their face and shit, so they could you're gonna be completely fucked up and destroy out here, man. Assed out. You know what I mean? Like we say, And no matter how much you try to tell them before this happens, right? Because a wise man perceiveth, or a prudent man perceiveth evil and hideth himself, right? So if you have a woman, you have a wife, you have sisters, mother, whatever, you're gonna tell them these things, right? But most women don't think that way, man. Most women do not think that way, and they don't want, because they don't perceive these things happening, man. They're like children, basically, man, just careless, right? But like the Godfather said, man, in that movie, man, women and children could be careless, but men can't, man. We just can't afford to, man. And it's a slippery slope, man. We went into the 2/3 mentality, right? Because everything supports that here in Babylon. Everything is at ease over here. Everything is at a click away, and you can have it fast, quick, fast, in a hurry, right? This is the book of Isaiah 3 and 16. 3 and 16. "Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty," right, arrogant, "and walk with stretched out forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet." This is exactly how they are. They think that they the shit, and they all look alike. They all got the same goddamn makeup on and everything, and you can't tell them nothing. They all look alike. They're like carbon copies of each other. They all look alike, and on top of that, don't wanna hear anything. Don't wanna hear this truth. You can't tell them nothing, man. Okay, so it says here, "Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, And you already see most of these chicks is all bald, man. Bald. You know, it's not only the southern but northern kingdom women too go through that. And Yahweh will discover their secret parts. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery and their tinkling ornaments, and the tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls, and their round tires like the moon, the chain and bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets, right? Because you see them now with all that, and the ornaments of the leg, and their headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings, and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, because women have a bunch of clothes, man, in their closet, right? Also, right? And the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be a stink. Right? This is what I was talking about earlier, man. Women are gonna be out of all these things. They're not gonna have none of these things anymore, and pretty soon in the very near future. Okay? When all hell breaks loose out here, and here it is, you haven't been wanting to take any type of you haven't taken heed to any type of instructions that the men of the Lord have been giving you, right? You just completely wag your hand to it. We're going to be caught up in this, man, if you don't have the hedge of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua around you. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be a stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent. And this is all in the curses, right? And instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. You're going to be ugly as fuck out here, man. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war, right? All these fucking simple-minded men that support all this bullshit, because you have men that will call themselves feminists, man. Like, that's crazy, you know? That's crazy, but that's exactly what's going on, man. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 25:16. It says, I have rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. The wickedness of a woman changes her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, he shall be bitter. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. All right, these type of fucked up women, a sinful Jake is going to have, and you see these couples that are completely toxic, you know, and all fucked up, and for some reason they just stay together all the time, you know, because we all have wives. A lot of us have wives, and we go through our little issues with them, and they hard-headed as fuck, and sometimes it seems like they don't even change. But there's men that are going through way worse things, man, with really fucked up women, man. But that man might be you know, the sinner spoken about in these scriptures, man. It says, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the age, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Okay, to a quiet man, bro. It's like trying to go up a hill full of sand, man. Those calf muscles are gonna work, you know, overtime, man. That's how it is with women that's just nagging, yap, just talking shit all the time, man, even under her breath, man. This is Sirach 25 and 24, right? So I'll jump down from 20 to 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad, man. And this is what these women have, man. They have the liberty to do and say these things, and then they hype each other up, and like a cancer, it just spreads, man. You know, that's why out of 1,000, okay, King Solomon didn't find one that had any type of fucking sense, man. Okay, this is Titus 2 and chapter 2 verse 3. It says, the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not be not blasphemed, man. Okay, and I think I will probably leave it there because I have to actually pick someone up now. And I just wanted to get this out of the way real quick, man. But hey, man, this is how it was supposed to be. You know, the tradition of older women giving that advice to the younger generation of women, man. But they are beyond reproach right now, man. Especially in these latter days, man. Like they're psychos, man. They're just completely the hell off, man. But I pray that this lesson was edifying, and if anything, you know, Lord's will, I could probably add more to it later on today, if it be the Lord's will, you know, because there's plenty of more scriptures, man, that goes in on these women, man, you know. But I pray that it was edifying. In closing, I want to give all honors and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Baharakakwadash, double honors to the apostles. Salutations to your brothers in the highways and hedges. Salutations also goes out to you brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn, man. Take heed, sisters, man, you know, to the scriptures, man. Okay, because the women that you got nearby, man, are described, man, and mentioned in these scriptures, and it's gonna tell you their latter end, man, and it's bitter and it's messed up, and they're gonna be destroyed, man. So don't be that. Don't be them N-dubs, man. Northern and southern N-dubs, man. Shalom.